MiniTube. Now it's time to watch MiniTube. MiniTube. We'll have a lot of fun on MiniTube. Watch me learn to make miniatures and talk a lot and some other stuff. MiniTube. So settle down and watch MiniTube. Welcome to my very first MiniTube video. My son said that people don't typically like theme songs on YouTube, but that's my theme song. It's only 20 seconds, put up with it. I'm really excited to be making this video. I have had an interest in miniatures off and on. I'll talk about this in a little bit for a while now, but I've never actually tried to make miniatures. And so I had kind of gotten into watching FlossTube videos, which are about needlework. And then I kind of stumbled upon some videos about miniatures on YouTube, and I thought that it would be really cool to put together a series of videos, tutorials, and just shows about somebody learning from the very first moment to do miniatures. I have never made a miniature, but I've watched a lot of videos and I've read some books, and I have some supplies now that I'm going to share with you too. And so you're going to just see me from scratch, starting from scratch, and hopefully you can see that, like, with a little bit of practice, people get better, they learn things. I think the YouTube community is a wonderful place to learn a lot of things, and I'm super excited to be sharing some of the things that I learned with you. That being said, I'd like to talk a little bit about just me and my art background. I don't have an art degree. I went to a Catholic school from first grade all the way to 12th grade, and art classes were very important. We had a great art teacher named Mrs. Dahlquist, and I'm a crazy cat lady. And she was a wonderful art teacher, and I always enjoyed art class. At home, I loved to draw. I taught myself embroidery when I was about 12. I liked to do quilling, batik, you know, just kind of anything, even playing with Play-Doh. I always thought anything artsy-fartsy was kind of fun. And I was fortunate enough to have parents that were very supportive of my interest in the arts, and so they did send me to classes now and then. I took an oil painting class with a bunch of adults through Adult Education, I think, when I was about 12. And took writing classes, I took piano lessons, I took ballet and tap. I wasn't very good at that. But I really kind of dabbled in a lot of different things up until about high school. And even though I took piano a little bit longer, really once I hit high school, I kind of was in that mindset where, oh, I've got to prepare for college. I need to be taking all of the maths, all of the sciences, you know, all of the Englishes, history. And I never made time for myself to take an art class after that. I didn't take any art in college either. I have a master's degree in mass communication, but really my art education pretty much stopped at the 8th grade level. I have, as an adult, taken various needlework classes and other classes, some of which I'll kind of touch upon here in the video. But I just wanted to let you know that, like, I don't have formal art training. So you're going to see me make mistakes. You're going to see me make things probably that look kind of wonky. But I'm just going to, for me, one of the fun things about art is just the process of it. I think a lot of people get hung up on the idea of, I don't even want to start because what I make is not going to be perfect. And you just have to let that go. You're going to make things that maybe didn't turn out the way you thought, but they are part of you. Like, you made it, and so in that way it is special. One of my artistic idols is Vincent van Gogh, and I love his art. It's instantly recognizable. His use of color, his subject matter, his brush strokes, everything about what he did was specific to him. He had a vision, and he created it, and it was uniquely him. And when you look at one of his paintings, you know instantly, well, that's Vincent. And so I think that we can each find our own style and each find our own voice in the art world. You know, whether you're making miniatures or whether you're drawing or whether you're just making up songs in the shower, like, how great it is to express yourself artistically. I think it adds so much to your life. So that's my art background. I was going to mention, I have a bunch of show and tell that I'm going to share. One of the people that I grew up with was Ed Emberley. And I'm going to bring this up because I think it maybe illustrates an important part of the process in making miniatures. Ed Emberley created a whole bunch of children's books, and maybe you recognize him. He did these drawing books that were, based on a color or based on a season or a holiday. And step by step, he taught you how to draw things by using simple shapes. I'm going to put Beatrice down for a second. Mwah. And so what he would do is he would start the book by just showing you basic shapes: circle, squiggly line, triangle. And then you can see, hopefully here, that he would take you through how to create a drawing step by step. Here's a circle, add 2 more circles, add 2 more circles, add a couple of lines, and it would eventually take you through, and he would teach you how to make, this one is, I think, a cow, right? And so really it was just step by step by step how to draw something as a child. And the cool thing about that is, and I think about it when I watch videos on YouTube about creating miniatures, that it really is a step-by-step process. And so think about it this way. Can you do this to roll clay? Mm-hmm. Can you do this to roll out clay? Yes. Can you do this to make a paintbrush paint? Of course you can. And so watch me, but watch a lot of these other just fantastic teachers on YouTube show you how to make miniatures step by step. And don't think of it like, don't look at their end product and go, oh, I can't get there. Just like taking a trip across the country, you're gonna go step by step by step, and eventually you'll get to the end. And yours may not look exactly like theirs, and that's okay. Like I said, part of the thing about the arts is just having fun in the process of making, and your end result is just kind of icing on the cake. So that's my feelings about arts and hobbies. I wanted to talk about too, just kind of why and how I got interested in miniatures. It's, I was thinking about it in the shower, and really, like, I started at a young age playing with dolls, like a lot of girls. I was not a terribly girly girl, but I did like to play with dolls. Part of it was just the idea of, like a smaller version of domestic life. And so I remember one Christmas, I probably was 4 or 5, I got this really cool doll, and I don't know what she was called, and she's not anything that I have anymore, but she had magnets in the palms of her hands. And she came with a little grocery cart and a little like rack with groceries in it, and the groceries had a little piece of metal in them, and so you could walk her along with her grocery cart and put her hand up to the groceries, and it would stick to her hand, and then you could put it in the cart. And it was, kind of that idea of miniatures. It wasn't to scale 1/12 or anything. It was just just a doll, probably about yay big, and she just had these cute little groceries. And of course, then I graduated onto Barbies like a lot of other girls. For me, Barbies really weren't as much about fashion. I did have a good number of outfits for Barbies, and back in the 70s, you could go to craft fairs and pick up tiny outfits that people would make, for $1.50 or something crazy like that. And so I had wedding dresses and other dresses and sweatpants, but for me, like, one of the fun things about Barbies was the accessories, the tiny little pieces. So one Christmas, I got a really cool ski chalet that had like ski accessories, and then you could go up the stairs up to a loft, and that was really cool. My cousin had the Barbie airplane, where it was like 2 different sections of the airplanes, and there were seats, and there was a tiny little cart that the stewardess could push, down the aisle. And so that was really cool. I had a star doll that I loved, and she came with her boyfriend Sean, and he had a really cool little guitar and tiny little tennis shoes, and just really liked tiny little things. My dad one year for Christmas built me most of the way a dollhouse, and it was really neat. It had, I remember the shingles, and it had multiple levels and stairs, and he got it most of the way done, but it never got finished. And I still enjoyed it, and I still played with it. Unfortunately, it is something that I, at one point when we were newly married, didn't have a lot of room. I had it and I had sons, and I just ended up selling it through the newspaper. But I do have, I was going to share with you one little piece of furniture left. I did have kind of a cool, like, clawfoot bathtub and, other things, but I have this tiny little Tommy microwave and oven, very like what, late 70s, early 80s kind of look to it, with working drawers that pull out. And oop, there it goes. And so I thought that was really cool to have that dollhouse. As I got older, really one of my main hobbies was needlework, and I did operate a needlework store online, and I had a brick and mortar for 17 years. It's something that I quit doing a couple of years ago, but I still really like to do needlework. I still do some designing, but some of the needlework that I do, a lot of the needlework that I've done has been very fine, very small, detailed needlework, and I'll show you a few of the pieces. I don't know how well these are going to come up on the screen. These are a couple of little just kind of pillows that I made. Let's see. Looking at the screen, it's hard because here you can see, and then this one, and this you can flip over, and it's got the back side. These are, the stitches are actually over one thread, so you maybe can't tell on the screen, but they're very, very fine linen. This is an example of silk gauze embroidery, and this is a 40 count fabric that you stitch with one thread. Okay, like so it's very tiny. And, you know, I don't know if you can see, like, here's my finger. You can kind of tell to scale how fine that needlework is. This is another piece. This is a bright needle piece. I should be mentioning the designers, I guess. This is a bright needle piece. This is also stitched over one thread with cotton flosses. And so I've done an awful lot of needlework, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of stitches and hundreds of pieces. I know in the shop I at one point had a couple of hundred shop models that I had stitched. I've given quite a few things away too to friends and family, and I have a bunch in my room here. Someday I'll do a tour of my craft room. But I'll show you too. I also, like I said, have done needlework designing under Raise the Roof Designs and Shakespeare's Peddler, which was the name of my store as well. This is one of my designs that I created called the Magic Garden Sampler. It was inspired by Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland movie. You can't really tell that, but it was. Promise. And created that in 2010. This is a more recent piece. I designed this in 2015. I wrote the date 1815 on it. Now this is a silk gauze piece, and the stitches are 40 threads per inch, so it's very, very fine. And I think it's like 90,000 stitches in this piece, 95,000, something like that. But it was really fun to do. I enjoy it. It's meticulous work, but it's actually, once you know how to do it, it's kind of mindless, and it's very almost like meditation. And then this is another one. This is probably one of my more, you know, kind of well-known pieces that I designed. The Jenny Bean. This is the Jenny Bean Halloween sampler, and this is done on a 40 count linen and done in overdyed threads by the Gentle Art. But anyway, so that's an idea too of my artistic background, but also just kind of my love of things that are small and tiny. Okay, so Barbie's Dollhouse. Okay, so at one point too, I wish I'd pulled it out. It's in with my Christmas ornaments, but I took a class by Sally Maver back in 2001 in Fargo, North Dakota. The Embroiderers Guild chapter up there had her come in to teach a class. And I really, if you like miniatures, I encourage you to check her out. She's not a miniaturist per se, but she is an artist who creates miniature scenes out of fabric, embroidery, findings, little bits and pieces of things just from a household that, you know, you recognize once you look at the pictures. The book that I pulled out is called The Hollyhock Wall. And I actually have this signed by Sally. She's a very just gentle, sweet person. You can find her books on Etsy, and I'll put a link below. But you can find them on Amazon as well too. I probably have 6 or 8 of her books. She writes children's books, but I know on Etsy, I think you can get note cards and posters too if you enjoy it. And I'll show you, you know, just the idea of all of this is embroidered, but it's kind of made, whoops, I gotta go this way. It's kind of made to portray like miniature scenes. So you can see she's got a little car, little people, and they're made out of little pieces of things that she collects. And she actually like told us at the time that I took the class that she, you know, saved clothing from her children, and she just, people donated things to her that she thought she might be able to use, and she just saved pieces of things and then uses it to make this great art. One of the cool things about this book, as far as miniatures go, is it's about this girl who has a garden that's planted in a pot. And this is a picture of the garden that Sally made out of, like I said, fabric and thread, and it's stitched, and there are findings and stones and things on it. And then, so within the book, you have this miniature world, and then the girl falls asleep after playing with it, and she actually imagines herself. Let's see if I can find. Here's just a very charming picture of her playing with this little garden in a box, and then she imagines herself in the garden itself. And it really is a great little book. I don't know if it's still in print, but Amazon is a really great place to find books that are out of print, and a lot of times you can find them for a pretty good price. And so if you're interested at all, I do really recommend her work. She's very talented and a very nice person. And I was really fortunate to take her class, but she taught us how to make tiny little fairy dolls. And it was super fun. So sometime I'll share that with you, maybe around Christmas when I pull the Christmas ornaments back out, because I do hang it on the tree. I'm a big fan of the Etsy community. I think it's a really cool place for artists, just people in their houses making things to share their work with the rest of the world. And so, you kind of find people that you like, and I had stumbled upon people who made miniatures. I'll put links to these below so that you can visit them if you like. Some of my favorites on Etsy are Paris Miniatures, Petty Platt, and she's actually here on YouTube as well. She does tutorials on YouTube. There's a place called the Miniature Garden, and I believe she's out of England, and she sells actually tiny little kits of flowers and plants and things that you can put together, and they're very clever. Miniature Patisserie I like. Cheswick Company isn't necessarily miniatures, but she makes tiny little doll and ornament kits that you can put together. It comes with all kind of like the hard parts, and you basically supply usually thread and stuffing and things like that. And she has very clever little, kind of miniatures-esque creations that she does, but they're kits, and then you can buy some of her finished work. There's another company called Elle Delaney, and Pixie Dust Miniatures is fantastic. She does really kind of fantastical, I don't know, like fantasy type creations, and she just has a really great style. So I at one point also had bought from Etsy a miniature apple pie board that I liked, and I can't find it right now. I'll share that with you at some point too, but I was kind of inspired by it and thought it was really neat and bought it. And anyway, I also, I would say in early 2014, I kind of got reinterested in miniatures and bought a number of books, some of them out of print on Amazon. And I bought a tiny little kind of shop display case that I found on eBay. And I bought this really cool set of three shops that you put together. So it's like a little kit, and they're all kind of this style, and they come with all the pieces, and a lot of it is already assembled. Hi there. And you can open the cute little doors. And I just thought they were really neat. I probably paid $200 for all three of these little shops, but they're a very nice quality. I don't know the name of the company. The box got dirty and I threw it away, so it's now in a tub of mine. But it even comes with a glassed top that you can put on it once you finish it, so you can have it on display and that, spiders won't fall in it or whatever. But so these, I imagine, are going to be projects now. I never knew for, 4 years here what I was going to do with them, but now I'm kind of starting to get some ideas, and those are going to get put to good use. Pinterest is another good place to find a lot of great miniatures, and I had started a miniatures board, a few years back. One of my favorites that I found on Pinterest, and then I found a book of his, is the Nunu's House. And I'll do a review of this book at some point. If you've never seen Nunu's House, they're flippin' amazing. He makes things that would be beautiful if they were real life things, but it's even more amazing. Like, here's a little cafe. It's even more amazing that he makes these beautiful things, and they're tiny, like this little Volkswagen van cafe kind of, food stop place. And so check out Nunu's House on Pinterest. He has a YouTube channel as well. I'll try to put a link below. I think I subscribe to it. It only has a few videos on it, but really, if you want to find a lot of pictures of the work, Pinterest is a good place to find Nunu's House. Okay, so that's that. Then, like I said, oops, where did I go? Like I said, I started watching videos on YouTube about miniatures maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. One day I was on YouTube, and to the side, you know, sometimes it'll recommend videos for you. There was a little cats. There was a little video of how to make a miniature typewriter out of popsicle sticks, which, you know, just kind of at the time seemed like the thing to click on, and it was just a couple minutes long, and it was by The Square to Spare, and her videos are all very clever, and she really has her own style. I watched a piano one recently that she made, and it was pretty amazing. But I watched this little, you know, how to make a typewriter out of popsicle sticks, and it was kind of fun to watch. And then as I watched that video, then of course other suggestions popped up to the side of the screen, including, I think, some video suggestions of Sugar Charm Shop. And if you haven't seen Sugar Charm Shop here on YouTube, you are missing out. She has hundreds of videos, and she is a true artist. She's very inspiring. She's very sweet. She's from Denmark. I'll put a link to her channel as well. I do really recommend that you subscribe. She also has a new channel that she just started called Sugar Charm Shop Gourmet. Her main channel has over 1 million subscribers. Her videos are very fun to watch. She does a lot of food videos, things like vegetables and fruits and cakes and pastries and roasts and, you know, really cool stuff like that. She does amazing furniture on there, some of which she solders and is made out of metal and she etches. She also has quite a few kind of pop culture videos, which are neat. And the Sugar Charm Shop Gourmet channel, she's trying to get away from the pop culture stuff and just mainly have like kind of more gourmet type foods. But the kind of, you know, I watched her videos and I was kind of like, oh, this looks kind of fun. And the way she explained things and the way she leads you step by step through it, you know, you're kind of like, yeah, I could do that. I could find those supplies. And you see her end product and you're like, wow, you know, that looks just like lettuce or whatever. And she tells you how to make it out of polymer clay. So I saw she has a video called My First Polymer Clay Miniatures versus Newer, where she shows you some of the things she started making when she was new. And over the course of the last, I think maybe 6 years, she's been making miniatures. She's gotten better and better, and she's come up with all these techniques and tricks that she shares on her YouTube channel. And I'll link that video. It's a mind blower because she shows you things that she made that it's like, oh, that's cute. And then she shows you what she can make now. And it's like, oh my Lord, you're amazing. So I just was like, wow, you know, she started just as a beginner and now she makes things that are just world class. And then I watched a video of hers that is a very popular one, and I think it has over 1 million views, where she shows you how to make a mini Pusheen subscription box. And if you don't know who Pusheen is, it's an internet kind of cartoony cat that's very cute. And I'm not like a huge Pusheen fan. I have a couple little Pusheen things, but I am a crazy cat lady. And I do think Pusheen is very cute, and I like the idea of subscription boxes. I've just kind of started dabbling in that, and it's kind of fun. But she had this subscription box, and I was like, I want that. I want that really bad. It looks super cute and fun. And then you think like, well, she does sell her creations on her Etsy store, but I think she kind of, you know, mainly sells through miniatures markets over in Europe. And the best way for me to get a mini Pusheen box is to make a mini Pusheen subscription box myself. And so I was like, I'm in. I'm going to try it. So immediately I started, I watched another video of hers about the tools and the supplies that she uses, and took a lot of notes and went around online. I found, I think Polymer Clay Express is where I bought some things. I also just went to the grocery store. A lot of the items are things that you can find at the grocery store or your local craft store. I have a Hobby Lobby and a Michael's and a Joann's, so I'm pretty lucky. And I just started collecting things. And so I'm going to share the things that I've collected so far, but I wanted to just for a minute talk about why I decided to start a channel. Because I think a lot of times crafting can be a very solitary experience. I've done, like I said, hundreds of needlework pieces, sitting, thinking to myself, and, in my own home. It's not something it can be a social activity, and I definitely stitch with friends and have gone to retreats and things. But crafting is very contemplative, and it's a process, and it's fun, and it's something that you usually do by yourself. And I wanted to share it with you, share it with anybody who was interested, the journey of going from utter beginner, like I've never made a miniature, and just kind of show you like what it is like to learn. So I love the idea of the internet as a teacher. I think it's really one of the best things about the internet. I remember, as a child of the 70s and then a teenager of the 80s and a young adult of the 90s, I remember what it was like to just wonder things, where you just were like, I wonder, how tall is Michael Jackson? And you would just wonder, because your other option was to do a bunch of research by going to the library or making some phone calls, but there really just was no quick, easy way to learn things. There were books, but of course, there wasn't the proliferation of especially arts and crafts books that there are now. And the idea of a channel, I think, is just really clever. You can spend some time, you can watch somebody do it, and then you can do it yourself. So it's really like having your own little art class in your house. You can pause it, you can replay it, you can watch it again, you can not like it and turn it off, you can give it a thumbs down, whatever you want to do. I think it's really fun to try new things too. And I turned 47, actually today's my 47th birthday, and why not try something new? You're never too old to learn a new hobby. So kind of my ideas for the channel are to do reviews of books, channels, tutorials, reviews of websites. I plan on making purchases from different polymer clay and miniatures websites, and from different Etsy artists to just kind of give you my opinions on them. I also would like to do tutorials and projects. I have pages of ideas of things that you may not see on other miniatures channels. And I have a couple of other just kind of smaller ideas of special things that I can do here for you too. The first special thing that I'm going to do here is something that I'm going to call Stash Flash. And this is my very first Stash Flash. Like I said, I kind of went on a binge and I bought a bunch of things. I did not spend a lot of money, but I have a really good start to having the tools and the supplies that I need to make miniatures. And so I'm going to share some of the purchases that I made recently. I already shared with you, my houses that I bought on eBay a while back. I got Sugar Charm Shop has an F-color stove, and it's from Germany. And she uses it actually to bake polymer clay on her work surface where she's sitting, which I thought was a great idea. It may not always be worth it to fire up the oven, even though it's, only going to be 200 degrees or whatever, but it's really just powered by tea lights. And so it's just this kind of cool little stand, and you can use it to apply enamels is what the main purpose is for, but she uses it to, you put your miniature here, you put the little tea lights in the bottom. She says she just uses 2, and that's plenty warm, and you put the little cover on, and you just bake your polymers that way to harden them, and I thought that was really cool. This was my biggest, most expensive purchase. I found it on eBay for $28, and I believe shipping was free. And so to me, that was, like I said, that was my big splurge, but I just like the idea of being able to bake the polymer clay right on my work surface where I'm working. And so that really was the most expensive thing. I would eventually, I think, like to get a roller, a polymer clay roller, but maybe in another Stash Flash. I got, for $2.99 at Hobby Lobby, I got this should last me for years, white sand. And you use this for sugar or salt or snow. And I've seen a lot of people in the miniatures videos use the sand, and I just got that at Hobby Lobby. And they have lots of colors. To me, white was the most practical one to start with. One of the things that I have found really cool is the way that people are coloring their miniatures to make them look realistic. And one of the things that they do is use pastels. And I own a fair number of art supplies, but I didn't own any pastels. I haven't owned pastels for quite a while. It's not something that I've really worked with, but they're very pretty. This is a Faber-Castell set of 72 colors. They're, you can see, very pretty colors. And Sugar Charm Shop does recommend this brand. There's another brand that she is using now that's much more expensive, and maybe someday, but these are going to work just fine. You can see that they're not, it's not very big. You just get a tiny little piece of each one, but I think it'll be a good start. And you obviously don't need a very big amount of this when you're making miniatures. This set I got on eBay. I believe I paid $17.49 for it, something like that. And I had looked other places and seen this same set for up to $40. So I feel like I got a really good deal, and I hope that I'm going to like them. But so this was another, I guess I would say, major purchase because it was more than $10. But I'll get a lot of use out of those. Okay, now I've got a big fun box full of stuff, and I'll try to insert a picture of it. The other thing you're going to watch me do is you're going to watch me learn to make videos, because I've never made a video before. So I'm going to do what I can, and I'll get better as time goes on. But this is, this is kind of a first time deal. But I got this big box to put things in. Before even, this was a couple months ago, my friends and I had to get together and we did a swap where you had to bring a craft tool, and you bought one for everybody in the group, and the limit was $6 per person, and I think there's 6 of us that go. So I got everybody one of these boxes for $4 at Michael's. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to start going through just with some of the things that I bought. Toothbrushes are often used for texturing. So I got some soft children's brushes, and then I got some firm adult brushes. And it actually was hard to find firm adult brushes, but I have them. And I showed my husband all my stash last night, and he was like, I have a whole bunch of old toothbrushes in the drawer that you could use too if you like. And I was like, that's all right. I don't need to do that probably. But it was very, very generous offer. I got some skinny sticks, and I think I got these at Hobby Lobby. I don't remember what I paid for them. It was a couple of dollars. There is where did my notes go? Myve is another, where did my notes go? Here it is. Myve is another YouTuber that I've really liked watching her tutorials, and she has made some really cool things with coffee stirrers, and I think she calls them lolly sticks, but we would call them popsicle sticks here in the United States. I think I have popsicle sticks somewhere in the house. I just have to find them, but this is a good start, and 75 should definitely get me through some projects. I got some really cool wood shapes. I actually ended up getting 2 packs of the circles and ovals for $2.99 each. I thought those would make great cutting boards or plates or trays, and kind of the same with this. I've seen some really neat little scenes done on this kind of a shape too, and $2.99 is a pretty good bargain. I guess this wasn't really a recent purchase. I bought this at TJ Maxx a while back, I believe. I have no idea what I paid for it. It's just some glitters and sparkles, but this is something I've seen people use a lot of. I'm sure I didn't pay very much for that either, but I have put it together in my my new supplies for miniatures. I also had bought these, I don't know, not too long ago. They're micro pens, so they make very fine lines, and those will be good for making miniatures too. I bought some paintbrushes. Sugar Charm Shop does amazing just little paintings, and she'll just throw together a bag of Cheetos and make the inside silver because she's so cool. And so I have these very, very fine brushes. You can see how fine of a point these are. I got these at Hobby Lobby. They run sales on pretty much everything if you just wait. They have a great app that tells you what the sales are for that week. These were half price, so I think I paid $2 a piece for these brushes. And they're nice. They're not obviously going to be, you know, famous artist quality, but they're going to get me through. And if I ruin them, oh well, they were $2 and I'll get another one. And you can end up using the sticks for them for other projects, which I've seen people do. I got a set of silicone tools, and these are, they look like, they're going to look to you like paintbrushes, but the tips of these are, it's a silicone tip, and there are different kind of chisel-y shapes, and this one's kind of, you know, a pointy shape. And you use this to shape your miniatures. I think I paid $3 and something for the entire set with free shipping on Amazon. So that was a really good bargain. They came from overseas. I was super excited. This was one of my last things to come in, and I was waiting to make this video for you until my dotting tools came in. These are actually tools that are used to create nail art. And you can see, I don't do nail art. I did not know about them, but they are little tools, with metal tips, and I kind of like the designs in them. They're really cool, and they have different tips on the ends that you also use for shaping your miniatures. I paid $1.69, I think, on eBay, free shipping. $1.69 for 5 tools, no shipping. And it took a couple of weeks for them to come in from overseas, but I had no issues. They're in perfect shape. Great deal. So look on eBay for some great deals on tools like that. I have another set on order of dotting tools where they're more specifically for polymer clay, and so the balls are quite a bit bigger, and I think I paid $3 and something like that for them. I found those a couple days ago, so they're not here yet. I bought a needle tool, and these get used a lot too for shaping and adding texture. I've also seen people use this little kind of grid texture here to do neat things like make ice cream cones or make the scales on a fish. And so, you know, think outside the box when you're using your tools. $4 maybe? It was either, I think Amazon, $4-ish. I got one of these rollers. I kind of wish I had got the solid one, because I've seen people have the solid ones, and then I got this one, and it's a clear tube. But I can cut things with it, and I can do this with it. So I got that, a couple bucks, once again. My nice friend Jennifer, I was telling her I gotta find some tweezers, and she said, oh, I bought a set and it came with 2 of this exact same one, and so she gave me a set of tweezers, so those were free. I bought, this is called a tissue blade, and it is a very, very fine blade that's bendable, and you can use this for cutting your clay. $4 Polymer Clay Express. That was the first place I found it. And I guess tissue blades are originally used, or they are used to cut tissue samples in a lab, but I will not be doing any of that here. And then I did find one yesterday this isn't necessarily a tissue blade, it's very similar. It's not as flexible as the other one, and it's a little bit longer. Let's see, the first one, the shorter one, was $4, and it is thinner. This one is a little more rigid, and it comes with this nice protector, which I like. And I think this was $4.99 at Hobby Lobby. I got some little cutters at Hobby Lobby, $1.99 for a pack of 3. There are some really nice brass ones that you can get, but since I'm new to the hobby, I'm just kind of getting the very basics. I did find this at Hobby Lobby. I used to have a metal ruler when I was a mass comm student, but I picked up another one because I don't know where that is. I like the idea of having a metal ruler to measure for scale, and also to use it as a cutting guide. It won't obviously get nicked up. I can clean it if it gets dirty. And this was $4.99, and I found it in the craft section of Hobby Lobby, along with the scissors and things. They had some of their jewelry findings at Hobby Lobby on sale half price. These are, what do you call these things? They're like eye pins, and you use them to make jewelry. I've never made jewelry before, but some of the charms that I make, I imagine I may make into charms that you actually can put on a necklace. And so these were just $1.49 for a whole bunch of them. Okay, getting down to the dregs. Translucent liquid Sculpey is used to make frosting, and it's used to soften your clay if it's too hard. This was more expensive than I thought it was going to be. I found it at Hobby Lobby for I think $7.99 or $8.99. I thought, oh, well, maybe I can find it cheaper online. No, that's about what it is. So I used if you download their app, there's a 40% off coupon you can use once every day. And I used the 40% off coupon to buy the translucent liquid Sculpey. And I imagine I will go through some of that. I ordered these from Polymer Clay Express. Sculpey Satin Glaze and Gloss Glaze. These are for making your little food items, for sealing them and either making them look shiny or, you know, kind of moist, or just, you know, kind of sealing them with more of a matte finish. This is really cool. There goes my phone. This I got on Polymer Clay Express as well. It's Pinata Alcohol ink, I think it's called. And it's a silver ink. And so when you paint it onto something, you can make it look like it's made out of silver. So let's say you were going to make a frying pan, you could paint this on and it would look like a metal frying pan. I had some miscellaneous things in my craft stash. I have these tiny little clips and some of these these are used for sewing, tiny little clips. And I thought these would be good for holding things together as they dry. I also had, I don't know why I had these, like these huge honkin' needles that I can also use for shaping and sculpting. And I'm just going to keep them in this cute little tin that I got from my BFF, Jennifer, with little butterflies on it. Hobby Lobby also had some of their cardstock packs on sale. I know this isn't necessarily a miniature item per se. It was $3, and I have some projects in mind that would require, you know, maybe kind of a natural base paper, and so that was a really great deal. And that fits just right in my box as well. Then, kind of the fun part is picking out the clays. And I watched different videos about the clays to buy. And there are a lot of good clays out there. Sculpey and Fimo obviously are kind of the two name brands. And so I got some Fimo Professional. And I got, I'm not going to show you all the colors I got. I mainly got neutrals. I got a few, you know, like I got a pumpkin color. And I got black, of course, because that's a good color to have. I bought a few different translucents because a lot of miniaturists now when they're making food will mix translucent clay. This is translucent white, and then I got regular Kato translucent, and then I think I got a Sculpey sand translucent too, just to see which ones I liked. And it kind of makes your food look more realistic and not just like a flat color. And then I got a bunch of the Sculpey souffles. Some of these I got online at Polymer Clay Express. Some of them I found for 30% off at Hobby Lobby when they had their sale. And like I said, you can use your coupons once a day to get a deal. So this also was on sale. I got a big old pack of white, and it was 30% off as well. So I got a really great deal on that. I'm noticing a lot of the people that I like to follow start with just really neutral colors and then either paint with watercolors or acrylics, alcohol inks, or they use the chalks mixed with liquid Sculpey. And so you really can get a lot more color choices that way. So I'm not afraid to start with white and then paint from there. I did get some fun colors too, you know, just to mix in, to try. I've got purple and green and different colors. And so super excited about that. When I shopped for these, it was almost like shopping for produce, because I was like, you know, how soft is this? Because I've never worked with it before. I know that it can harden over time. And I did notice at Hobby Lobby that a lot of the clay at my particular Hobby Lobby felt a little hard. And if you look on the side on some of these, you can see like a manufacture date, and some of the manufacture dates were a couple of years old, and so it felt a little harder. So I tried to go with the newest ones that I found in the most practical colors for making the types of things that I wanted to make. So that's what I got. Now, I thought it would be cool to, on camera, open up my very first clay. I've never felt it. I've never smelled it. I've never tasted it. And so let's see, I'm going to use my blade here and open this up. And I'm going to tell you just my first impression of what, oh, it says open, close. You know what? I'm just going to do this. I'm going to slice it on open. You know, with the actual, you know, sometimes it helps if you use the sharp part of the blade. This is not going to go well making miniatures if I don't even, okay, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Okay, so here it is. I'm kind of excited. This new craft supply that I've never felt before. So first impressions, it feels about like what I thought it would. It's kind of sticky. I thought it would have kind of a chemical smell to it, and it almost smells like nothing. It almost smells like maybe like a new plastic box, if you bought a plastic box or something. I'm gonna try to break a piece off. Oh, that's kind of cool. I'm gonna shape it a little bit. Kind of tastes like a peanut M&M. Here's the clay. That was a peanut M&M. Yeah, it's kind of cool. And I know, like, one of the things with polymer clay is that you have to work it. And so I could dig this. It's a little harder than I thought, but you know, this was a Fimo, oops, this is Fimo Soft. So this will be softer. It is chocolate color appropriately. And yeah, very interesting. Now, it's my understanding that these don't dry out like you think they might, because it really isn't supposed to harden all the way until you bake them. But it's kind of cool. It's sticky. It's sticky, but I can definitely see where, like, you know, it would definitely hold its shape. I kind of worried about, you know, things like fingerprints and like how do you have to handle this so that you're not squishing your creation as you're making it, because you're making things that are very small. But that's pretty cool. And so that kind of, I guess I'm just gonna give a couple of shout outs here at the end, and then talk about the project that I'm going to do today for my birthday. Since it is my birthday, I'm going to make myself a birthday cake. It's going to be my very first project. If I really get into this, maybe I'll make myself a birthday cake every year, and then I'll have a collection of birthday cakes. But I want to give some shout outs to people on YouTube who've really been inspiring to me, that I've really enjoyed. Sugar Charm Shop, to me, she's the queen. She's the bomb.com. She's amazing. And she seems so sweet and friendly. And so I really do recommend her channel, and also Sugar Charm Shop Gourmet. I'll put links to these below. The Square to Spare also, she's got just a really cool style, and I really like that she makes things out of popsicle sticks. And they're really, really cute. Petty Platt is, I want to say she's French. And she has a great style, and like I said, she's got an Etsy shop, and her tutorials are wonderful. She makes very realistic looking food and other things. Creative Rachie, I think I'm saying that right, Creative Rachie, she is Australian maybe, and she's younger, and she's very, very sweet, and she makes kind of Japanese style, really cute little things with faces, like a cactus with a face, or, you know, a marshmallow with a face, and love it. I'm gonna be inspired by her and make something with a face on it. Definitely at least one time. She's very cute. Myve, and I think it's Ferrando maybe, has a channel, and she is Italian, I believe, and seems to have a very generous spirit, very good teaching style, and her projects are super, super cute. This Charming Stuff, I don't know if she's still making videos, but I really do like them. I haven't watched her as much as I've watched some others, but I like her style, and I definitely have subscribed. And We Love Miniatures, too, is one that I've watched just a few, but I do really like her style as well. As far as my style, I don't know it yet. I'm going to find that out as I go along, and I encourage you to join me you can subscribe if you want to, or you can just kind of check back if you want to. And I'll tell you what I've learned. I do plan on getting inspired by other people's channels and trying to make things based on their tutorials and see how they turn out, and then make my own changes and my own, you know, put my own spin on it, or my own style, so that I'm making things that really are meaningful to me. And I had fun talking to you today. I feel like I've blathered on, and it feels very self-indulgent, but I really do want to share this kind of journey with you and this process with you, and hopefully inspire you to start your own journey and try, whether it's miniatures or it's something else, try something new just for the heck of it, and maybe you'll just find something that you really, really love to do. One last thing, since they were leaping all throughout the video and knocking things around, I'm going to just reiterate that I am a crazy cat lady. Animal welfare is very important to me. I'm very involved with our local animal shelter, Southern Pines Animal Shelter here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. We are we have a large intake of about 6,000 animals a year, and we are considered a no-kill shelter because we find homes for just about every single animal. Euthanasia is only a kind of just a last resort if, if an animal has been hit by a car or is in heart failure or is considered too dangerous to rehabilitate. And so I'm very, very proud of the shelter. Cats are very important to me. I got my first cat maybe 7 years ago, and I have 7 cats now. I have fostered hundreds of kittens here at my home in the last 5 years or so, anywhere from just born that same day and bottle fed them up until adults. And the kitten that you see here, I'll show her one more time because she's kind of sleeping on my lap. This is Beatrice, and she came to the shelter very sick. She was missing a lot of her hair with ringworm. She had a horrible respiratory infection where she had green stuff coming out of her nose and goop coming out of her eyes. Her eyes got cloudy for a while, and they're kind of improving now. She's very, very sweet. She's kind of a little old lady lap kitty. She just loves to snuggle and just be held. She was also very, very thin and bony, and she is very, very sweet. And she'll be up for adoption as soon as she is healthy enough for that. But I just wanted to mention that cats especially are very important to me, and so you will see them throughout my videos. All of the cats that we have here at the house were rescues. Many of them were cats that we fostered as kittens. We have reached our limit for sure. 6 was our limit, and we ended up with a 7th, and I'll talk about her some other day. But if you do have animals, make sure to treat them well and enjoy them because they just bring so much joy to our lives. I will do another video about my birthday cake, but I'll do that as a separate video, just more as a tutorial style. And I want to just leave you with this thought. I would like you to go forward and be positive and be brave, and most importantly, have fun. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I hope to see you again soon.